Hello friends, we are out in the middle of nowhere. Decided to go to a little car show this morning and it was pretty cool. Low-key, but fun, which sometimes is like the best type of car show to go to. Heading back to the house now, but I wanted to put together a little video for you guys today. Topic is going to be tuning. So I have seen that there was sort of a need for a place that people could go to find specific tuners for different platforms. And you know, sometimes it's difficult to find a tuner that is good, right? A tuner that, look at that crazy thing, man. I was parked next to that guy. Sick. It can be difficult, right, to find a good tuner. And I was trying to, you know, come up with ways to solve problems for my people, which is you guys. And I figured, you know, this would be an interesting topic to kind of dig into. I always sort of struggled trying to find a good tuner when it came to the different platforms. And the only way that I was able to find out who the decent tuners were by, you know, just existing in this community long enough. And by that time, I sort of figured out who were the good tuners that you could trust and who were the tuners that had the most experience and which tuners were on which platforms, and obviously like a lot of information. And the tuner topic can be a bit interesting because, you know, everyone who has a guy kind of thinks that their guy is the best, and obviously that's not the case. I think that there are a lot of really good tuners out there. I think there's fewer really great tuners out there, and I think it would be a good idea to have a place where we could go to sort of just have all of that information in one area, in one space, and the communities could sort of decide which tuners were the best. And by best, you know, it's kind of relative, like depending on what you want out of the car. Like maybe you don't want the fastest, but you want the most reliable, or maybe you just don't care and you do want the fastest. Like best is very subjective, right? But basically, to keep it simple, you guys, the idea that I had was, what if I could build a registry or like a directory of different tuners for different platforms, and people could go into this directory or registry or list and kind of like Reddit, vote up your favorite tuners. And in addition to finding, you know, who were the better tuners or who were the tuners that people preferred, you could also have it sorted by platforms and different engines that they tune. Like if you're only looking for an S58 tuner or an N55 tuner, like you could find that pretty easily in this directory. Or if you were just looking for a tuner that only worked on MHD or boot mode, you could find that pretty easily. So there's a lot of obviously variables here, but I think that there could be a need for this. So that was kind of my idea, man. I don't know. I got a lot of really good, I sort of launched this idea, like a month ago. And I got a lot of really good feedback from people, and a lot of people who thought, you know, this is a fantastic idea. Let's develop it further and see where we can take it. And so what I did for the time being is I basically built on my website a form where people could enter in their favorite tuners and which platform that tuner was on, what engines that tuner preferred to tune, and then you could add also like your comments, basically, you know, how you felt about the tuner, what your experience was. I will leave a link down to that in the description. And I've had a few conversations with people that build websites, build apps, into sort of thinking how we can develop this idea and make it, you know, a public space where people can go. It's obviously going to be a free service. I'm not charging anyone to do this or enter a tuner, but for the time being, if you do have a tuner that you use and you're really happy with them, it would be a huge help if you could go ahead and enter your tuner's information in there. And the more people that enter a specific tuner, we can then go ahead and sort of upvote that tuner, just make them the more popular answer when it comes to like B58 tuners or N54s or whatever. So we have a lot of entries so far, a few hundred, I believe, and I'm just looking to really build that up more and more. I wanted to get feedback from you guys on this idea. You know, this is obviously very early. We're in the very early stages of this idea, but I think that it could develop into something very beneficial for a lot of people. And the whole aim here is to just help everyone, to help you guys, basically just create a space where people can go and find a tuner that they can hire to tune their car. And hopefully they can do so with confidence confidence because of the feedback that they've received from the community on this tuner. I just find that today it's very difficult to get accurate information when it comes to actual tuners because there is just so much out there. I feel like there are so many forums and the conversation of tuners has just been beaten to a pulp. And like I said before, you know, a lot of people like will swear that their guy is the best, but then again, they may not have all of the experience of working with a bunch of different tuners. So that's kind of my aim for this. And let me know what you guys think about that. And let me know if you guys think that that's a good idea. I personally think it's just gonna help people. So that can't be a bad thing, right? The other topic that I wanted to bring up was the S55 crank hubs. Now, along the same lines as the tuner form, I put out a form for S55 owners. Basically, if you have an F8X S55 powered car and the crank hub is already pinned, my idea was to build a directory of all of the already pinned S55s that are out there. Basically, in the form, you would put in the VIN number, you would put in the car, you would put in the type of crank hub that was used, like the brand, and then you would also put in the shop that pinned that crank hub. Now, the reason that I included all that information is so that pinned crank hub job could become verifiable, right? You could basically just call the shop that's listed in the directory next to the VIN number, and you could give the shop that VIN and say, was this crank hub performed by your shop? And they could verify it, and then you'd know, if this is a car that you're looking to buy, it already does have, in fact, the crank hub pin. I think that it serves a few purposes. I think for one, people who are looking to buy an F8X car, like I personally would just like to have the hub pinned already. Not the end of the world if I have to do it myself, but the majority of people, they'll have to pay a few grand in order to get that done. So why not have a place where you could see if the car that you're interested in buying does in fact already have a pinned hub. I think that building this list out will be a bit more difficult because you're really asking the current owners of S55s with pinned hubs to go ahead and just enter their information or their car's information without receiving anything in return, really. Like, this would be more of a benefit to like the future owners. So it's difficult to get current owners to enter their car. However, we have gotten some entries, which is good. So there is some interest, but I just don't know like how expandable that idea really is. Like, for example, I put in my M4 GTS because we had done a pinned hub on that car, and whoever wants to buy that car in the future, like now they know they can just go into that directory and see it there, and well, there you go. You know that it was already pinned. So again, you guys tell me what you think about that. Like I said, you'd be able to verify that this crank hub was in fact pinned. You could just call the shop that's listed in the sheet and then give them the VIN number and you're good to go. I mean, they can tell you straight up, like, was that pinned or was it not pinned? And if you have a buyer who's, maybe lying about a pinned hub, or you're just curious, this is a great way to figure that out. So those are just a couple ideas, you guys, that I'm playing with right now. You guys tell me what you think, man. Do you think that these are beneficial to you? Do you see a need for these type of ideas, or lists or registries or places where people can go and sort of find, I gotta get off here. Oh, I'm fucking cutting across. So yeah, you guys tell me what you think. Is this do you think that there's a necessity for either of these ideas? Do you think that either of them will work? Do you think there's anything that I could change or add or manipulate to make them better? Really interested in hearing your guys' thoughts, and tell me if it's a shit idea. I'm okay with feedback, man. Criticism's good. If it's a great idea, tell me it's a great idea. Tell me what we can improve on and change and make it better. At the end of the day, you guys, I'm just trying to bring you some value, and I'm trying to do something for the community. And I think that both of these ideas are pretty good ideas, and they could be beneficial to everyone. So anyways, I'm on my way home. I got some more work to do, but I just wanted to chime in and drop this video and see what you guys thought. Appreciate you guys. See you in the next one. Peace out. Ooh.